Hello everybody, it's Nation here again, and today we're going to work on our Custodes. Now this is a versus praetor from the Solar Watch aspect of the Custodes. This was a commission. I didn't know much about this, I don't know anything about the background of them, but I know they've got white armor, so that was an interesting take. And when it was suggested to do white armor, I really leapt at it. I actually really wanted to do that because I thought it'd be nice diversity having white and gold mixed together. So I primed it black with Stynel Res. Now we're coming in with the top down spray of the Stynel Res white primer. Now this just gives me the guidelines of where I need to go and what I need to do, but it actually does some colouring for me as well. So after this bit we can put a glaze over the top of it to tone it down, and then we can highlight it back up, and that's basically one of the main jobs done. But onto the bike, we're going to give this a base coat of lead belcher. Don't really need to be fancy or anything like that here, just cover the entire thing. And this also goes for the spear as well, as you can see there. And now we're going to give it some highlights with Chainmail Silver from Gamer. And this is a top-down spray. Hindsight of this, I probably would have skipped this bit and just moved straight on to the next one. Now we're coming with aluminium from the Model Air range. This is a much sort of brighter colour, and this we're going to aim for the centre of the bike, the sort of wing tips, if we call them that, just to give us a bit of a gradient on it. Okay, now we're coming in with Brassy Brass from the Game Colour range. And this is going on using a brush, and we basically just paint on the gold elements of it. So this will be the eagle on the front, and any of the sort of filigree that goes around the back. Okay, now we're coming with Retributor armor, if I could say that properly. And this is going to go on as a dry brush over all the brassy brass area, and the filigree part you have to be kind of careful with, so it's just a light one. We will touch it up later, but yeah, this is just mainly to get the main part of the eagle, and yeah, a little bit extra on the little bits of filigree. If you can as well, aim it like brushing downwards, because you want to keep the shadows on the underside of the feathers effectively, so if you can, just aim the brush downwards when you're dry brushing with it. Okay, now we're going to mix in a bit more of that aluminium into, yes, I said aluminium for the Americans, not aluminum. We're going to mix that in with some of the gold. And again, we're going to dry brush this on, just give it a little bit more of a highlight. If you find out it's too subtle, just come in straight with the silver. But you basically just want to aim for the wing tips on this. And back in again. And this is straight aluminium this time. And again, we're just aiming for the tips on this one. Okay, now we're coming in with a normal gloss. And this goes over pretty much the entire bit, wherever there's silver, effectively, or metal colour, not the gold. You can be kind of liberal with this, but just watch out for pooling. You don't really want that. Okay, we'll leave that to dry and we'll move back on to the rider. And we're going to use Seraphim Sepia. And we're pretty much going to wash the majority of the model. Basically, you're looking for all the areas where it's going to be white. All the areas where it's going to be gold, you can leave be. There's going to be a certain amount of overlap, but yeah, just try and leave, like, for example, the cloth area with his robes flying out the back. Leave that, because we want to kind of keep that as pure red as we can. Okay, now after that's dry, we're coming back in with Skull White, and we're just going to do some highlights. And this is the nice, easy thing I like about this paint job, is you literally just do these little steps, and you're pretty much sorted. It gives a nice enough sort of tone and gradient that you can get away with this. Now, it is a little bit laborious, but the results are definitely worth it. The most laborious part of this would be trying to do the shoulder pads and the little plates, working around the filigree. Can be a bit So just be patient with it. Luckily, Custodes are super expensive, so you don't have a massive amount of models, so hopefully it's worth it. And I'm also doing it because I wanted a nice contrast. I did the wingtips on his right-hand shoulder pad as white. I thought with the way the gold was working on the shoulder pad, I thought that'd be a nice kind of contrast to it. It gives it a little bit of a kind of regal look to it. Okay, now we're coming in with model camo medium brown. This is a nice little standard brown. We're just going to paint this over the shin things? Trousers? I'm not entirely sure. Stirrups? No, stirrups are what you put your feet in. Chaps? I don't really know. The brown bits on his legs. Just kind of breaks up the white a little bit. And also on his arm as well. Now we're coming with Retributor armor. This bit's a little bit laborious. Got to paint the gold on him. Now, luckily, it's kind of like filling in the last gaps of absence of colour, to be honest with you. There's, but it does take a little bit of a fine hand because there's a lot of filigree, especially right around the helmet and the face and the shoulder pads and the legs and the arms and the chest and the back. That's pretty much all over, to be fair. So, just be careful with it. Again, be patient. There's not many of these guys, so you don't have to worry. However, this commission, he did ask me to do 15 of them. So by the end of this, yeah, I was done. As you can see here on this shoulder pad as well, the gold makes a nice outline to the white wings, so I definitely think it gives that more kind of regal look, just having that other element of white. Then we're mixing in our aluminium back into the gold again and doing some highlights. Just want to aim for the tips of stuff here. Then we're coming in with some Agrax shade wash, gloss wash, that's the one. And this is going over all the gold. Be careful with this because you can easily hit white, and yeah, white is not forgiving if you get wash on it. And it looks like we're coming another wash over the eagle, over the bike. And all the rest of it as well. Okay, now we're going to use Scarlet Red, and this is going to go on his robe things that are flying out the back. Okay, now we're coming in with Scarlet Red from the Game Air range, rather than the Model Air range. And this is going to go on his plume. So I needed to try and come up with a variation of red to differentiate between his robes and his plume. So I've kind of gone for a more earthy kind of feel with the plume. But now we're going to use Dark Reaper, and this should fill out all the little piping, cording in between plates and panels and stuff like that. That little bit I just painted as well, that gets painted black later, so don't really see the point in that. Okay, now comes a bit of a laborious bit. So I only did this on the like shield captains. Is I used Tamiya Clear Red, and every other feather I painted red. Now the first layer goes on quite thin. Don't try to apply too much. This paint doesn't really work that well with a brush. It works a lot better with an airbrush, but doesn't like playing ball too much with a brush, so you have to let it dry and do multiple layers of it. So as you can see there, it's pretty faint. Then we'll come back in with another layer. See, it starts to get a bit more vibrant. As you can see, layers and layers and layers, and you start getting more of a solid colour pop up. Okay, now we're coming with Chaos Black, and this is just going to go on the housing around the guns, again, just to break it up a little bit. It's very silvery all over the place. And it also paints all the little gems, as you see there, painted black, and painting the blade black, because we want, again, a bit more contrast on this. So having that black end should make it kind of give it a bit more contrast. As you can see, yeah, all the little gem spots are all getting painted black as well now. And the eye lenses, yep. And I probably should have just painted that white and used Seraphim Sepia, but I thought I might be able to get away with Carrick Stone. And then come back in with the white. And this is basically because part of the grip on that handle is already moulded in. So I couldn't paint it white along with the rest. Well, hindsight, I probably could have. Okay, well now we're using Magic Blue. And this is going to highlight up all the gems. And we're going to paint basically the underside of each gem. You could vary it up by putting different gems in there, but I thought I'd stick with standard and just have one colour. There's more than you think, by the way. Okay, now we're coming with electric blue, and this is again going to paint the underside, but it's going to go for a thinner line rather than the thicker line we did with the magic blue, so this should give us an extra little highlight. Now we're using Cabalite Green. And this is where I always go wrong, it's painting the eyes. Then we're going to use Duckett Green. This is just going to go in the corners. Then we're coming in with a dry brush, and I'm pretty sure this is just bleached bone, going over the top of that red. Then we're coming in with a model colour scarlet. So this is a bit more pinky. Then we're going to come in Jacaro orange. Go with a bit more of a highlight. Okay, now we're going to do the spear, and we're going to do Imperial Blue. To be fair, you could probably skip this bit. It's a bit too dark to really recognise, but also painting the exhaust vents. Then we're coming back in with Magic Blue. Again, painting the jets. Then we're coming in with Space Wars Grey. Okay, now we're coming in with the Forge World purple clear paint. I cannot remember what this is called. Probably Fulgrim purple or something like that, or Emperor's Children purple. But this is just going to paint over a bit of a heat exhaust or heat plume or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. And then we're coming in with the orange from the Forge World clear range, and that just goes over the end of it. Then we're coming in with some Known Oil through the airbrush. This is just going to do the very end of it, to give it a kind of ashy look. And we're just going to do a little bit around those little holes there by the exhaust side of things. And then I'm just sort of spraying it over. And there's a finished model. So, hope you guys like it. It's relatively easy. Hopefully it shouldn't be too taxing for anyone. The airbrush bits can probably be replicated. The exhaust heat side of things are a bit tricky without an airbrush, but see how we go. There's a few other things that could be done with it, but this is more of a tabletop ready, just maybe a little bit above tabletop side of things, just to get something with a nice touch to the end of it. So as I said, I hope you enjoyed watching it. Also, if you want to as well, you'll be able to see the painting tutorials at early release of Wargamer Online. So if you fancy it and you want to see some more painting tutorials, go over to there early. There's other painters that are doing tutorials there, but you'll see my tutorials out before they come out on the YouTube side of things. So hope you'd like it. Please go check them out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.